What is going on, everyone? My name is Boyd, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the top of the map in the red color, playing as Poseidon. It is 2021, and he is back, ladies and gentlemen. It is none other than the Mista, direct from Greece, direct from his farm where he is making a whole bunch of corn to feed the numerous amount of my fellow Greek brethren. But he's showing us today how to play Age of Mythology. His opponent today in the blue color, a salty runback from 2013. He's playing Set, and his name is Skady. What a time to be alive. It was not only, it feels like yesterday that I was casting this game, basically because it was, I think it was like a week ago or something, where we saw Skady and Mista from 2013. Let's see how the meta's changed in these years and what is going to happen here. We do have the map Marsh, and we have to take all of this gameplay here from Mista with a grain of salt. Whenever these experts come back and play, yes, they are godlike, but they are not their full power. They have not been playing this game 100 hours a week like certain individuals, and they basically have to kind of learn what's good again, because it might be different to what they remember, or they might not be able to remember what they thought was good. They might not have the APM that they used to have, and all of this stuff. So you have to give them time. For my own personal experience, it takes somewhere in the vicinity of a week to 3 months to get level back after a prolonged break. I remember I came back and started playing Age of Mythology again after I finished uni, and it took me a month to just feel semi-comfortable, let alone play well. Like, it was just, everything was chaotic for a long time. But it's all about hours you put in and getting that skill back. But Mista, it's not like he hasn't been playing RTS games. He's been playing Age of Empires Online. He won a recent Age of Empires Online tournament. He's been playing Age of Empires 4. We are going to be seeing him play a little bit of Age of Empires 4, I've heard. So get excited for that. Hopefully he does get to stream some of that, because it's always exciting to see his thought process in these games, on these brand new games especially, because he is one of those players who is always really, really good at the start of an RTS lifespan. You know how certain players, you might think certain players are going to be really good, but in reality they're just copycats, and they can't really work out what is good in a game. But when they learn, they are so good at executing. So sometimes that happens as well. So we got a game here, though. We got Set versus Poseidon on Marsh. Actually, a very interesting matchup. Simply on the fact that the Set player, people say that this matchup is a slight advantage for Poseidon. I disagree. I think this matchup is, at least at the very bare minimum, it's equal, but I would say it's slight advantage for Set. But you have to play it correctly. You have to make sure that your ancestors gets ceasefire. You cannot waste your ancestors. It has to be ceasefire so that you can hit a tornado timing attack. If you can hit a tornado timing attack, you're going to be able to be completely fine. You need to make sure you get early Horus upgrades for your spearmen, and you're going to be fine. Going for a really, really fast second town center here is really, really good as well for the Set player. And you do want to be thinking about getting to the classical age about 4 minutes. If you're going on Marsh, if you're going slower than 4 minutes here, you're just kind of misplaying. And we are seeing Skady going for a 4:30. So this is more of the raw advanced time for Set. And for Ice, or maybe more just for Set, you definitely 4 minutes, get this town center up. You've got all this hunt here, completely fine. You've got your priest converting Aurochs to send home, or water buffalo to send home. You're going to be completely fine to eat those and get a very fast classical age, or get very fast spearman out, whatever you need. Now, Poseidon, on the other hand, what does Poseidon want to do? Essentially, Poseidon needs to just survive. If Poseidon can survive into the late game, Poseidon wins this pretty much 9 times out of 10. The question is, can he survive? He does have a decent talent center here with this gold mine, with this wood line, with these hunt, the hippopotamus, but it is scouted out by Skady. Now, given that this gold mine is so good, it's a bit of a fake good map here from Mista here. The town center feels better than it actually is. We do see a a vision coming through for Skady. What is his plans? We've got the pigs all spread out. Does he have any units to shifting sands up? It looks like he does not. It looks like it's mostly just a bit of a fake here from Skady. He's grabbing the middle town center as well. A bit aggressive, but I don't hate it. It's close to gold mines. It's close to wood lines. It's even got a relic here. A pair of golden lines. It's huge. And he's also got the water buffalo he can eat. Does he have an armory coming down? Is he going for barracks? What is he going for is the question. I do prefer to see... we see a shifting sands coming in. There's the immediate ceasefire. That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect here for Skady. That's exactly what he's going to want. That means now he can hit that tornado timing attack with ancestors as well. So right now, what Skady should be thinking is, okay, great. See the 2 town centers coming up for Mista? Going straight to the Mythic Age here. Going straight to the Mythic Age. Don't care. I'm not going to build any units. I'm just going straight to the Mythic Age. Maybe build a Migdol in the Heroic Age, but not too many villagers on wood. Make some Chariot Archers just for defense underneath the Migdol. And go straight to the Mythic Age. And then you can just go straight into Spearman and be in a fantastic position here. But town center on the way. Skady's 2 town centers already up. He's got good gold mine. He's throwing down the barracks. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. What can you do? What can you do? Mr. Spamming those villagers out. He's getting up his archery range, his stable. The thing is that there's really nothing that Poseidon can do here to put pressure onto the set player. There is nothing that Poseidon can do. You have animals you can convert. You've got a safe gold mine you can have in your base. There's no need to build any units at this point for our set player. And that's something that when you're trying to work out how to play a game, is something you have to think about is there any point in making military units here or not? And the answer is, honestly, after he casts Ceasefire, the answer is no. You just don't need to. We see the Centaur coming over here. Skady still converting those Aurochs or water buffaloes. He's not going to be taking the Centaur down, and he's just going to be pushing Mista back into his base. Mista's grabbing some wood over here, getting the hippopotamus coming, and just going to be spamming units out of the stable. Just gets 1 Toxotes here. Interesting to see that. Obviously, there's these barracks here, but he doesn't know that they're there. He is going to, obviously you are expecting spearmen from a set player on Marsh at some point in the game, so having it for then isn't a bad idea. And just making 1 Hippocon here, I don't hate that. Getting an armory up wouldn't be a bad idea here. Going to the Heroic Age, going to try and get a good use of Curse and start putting some pressure on, making a fortress, or going straight to the Mythic Age as well. Not a bad idea here in the slightest. But we've got the houses coming up. So many barracks. What's happening here? Where's the armory? He doesn't have an armory up yet.
You need to.
Skady he's got these units sitting in the middle of the map, but he's just not doing anything with them. And the other thing is, against Poseidon, and especially against Poseidon on a map with huge hunt and huge amounts of herdables, you don't get any value out of these units. These units here, the spearmen that he's made, you don't get any value out of them. He's making more spearmen. He's got medium spearmen here. I'm so confused by Skady at this point in the game. He's going to get pushed back here, it seems, a little bit. So we're starting to see some raids coming over here onto this location. I mean, there's no real reason for Skady to be even hunting this here. Just come back, eat the water buffalo you've got here. Look at how many he has. He's got 4 water buffalo. These water buffalo have got 300 food apiece. Just send them into your home base. You don't need to worry. This gold mine is going to be slightly exposed as well because there's not houses defending it. So some slight misplays here from Skady, giving Mista some value out of his Hippocon and his Centaur over here. And Mista is just simply going to sit back and have a really fun time. He's throwing up an archery range. Again, more houses coming down. Obviously, he sees the spearmen, so he's going to think, I gotta defend against this, which is perfectly fine and reasonable as a defense here. Once you see these units. But Skady He's just chilling here for the time being. These couple of units here. I love like the mini raids that Mista pulls in these games. He's always got a couple units around on the map just looking for something to pick off. And at this point, the Spearmen, they are kind of fast enough to harass these away. But with the Centaur there as well, you're asking for a lot of chip damage or maybe even losing a couple of Spearmen if you do want to kind of come over here. We see this armory is coming up. This villager is a little bit caught out though. Mista is definitely going to spot that one there. He's going after this villager. Nope, he's just gonna. There he goes. He spots this. The villager's retreating away. Hippocon going after the armory isn't a bad idea. Isn't a bad idea at all. We see these villagers moving up onto the top middle of the map. Going to be attempting to get some boar in on this location here. We see these Hippocon finding this location here. If you get crenellations here instead of these slingers, this would never be a problem. But without crenellations, he's going to lose a bunch of those villagers there. And now we are seeing it going for a third town center in the middle of the map. This is looking really, really bad now for Skady as all of these units here are going to be struggling. We just see some nice micro from the slingers trying to target down those Toxotes. It's super important to focus fire Toxotes in this location here. We see the villagers getting pulled off the town center, going after those Hippocon. Nice play there, as those are very, very strong. Meanwhile, all of the villagers on this location have been sniped here while that fight was going on. These 4 units, I should say, have gotten super value here in this game. Really, really nice play from Mista, and Skady's going to be kicking himself looking at all the corpses that are left behind from that raid. Yeah, I'm going to see the town center coming up though. Mista, he will have to do something here to get that one back. We see this another stable coming up. Thank you so much for the gifted sub, Mr. Ricky G. Appreciate you, man. He's so kind and generous to me. Thank you. And welcome, Libertine, to the subscriber situation on Twitch. We see the Centaur getting in onto this action. Even more snipes. Mista getting just so much value out of these units. It's just like the most insane amount of value I've seen from 3 Hippocon and a Centaur in a long time here. Though they do look like they will finally get picked off. At the very least, the Centaur is going to be kept alive. But Mista's got to be thinking about how he's going to get to the next age here. He's throwing up farms. And he is sorting himself out fairly well here. Good amount of wood income in order to get the farms happening. His building placement's a little bit off with these buildings, just a little bit too close here, cutting off all of these spots for farms around the town center. Oh my God.
You deserve it, man. You brought a lot of eyes back to Age of Mythology with your YouTube and streaming. Thank you for your service, sir.
Well, thank you so much, Ricky. I appreciate you. You're a good egg. You're all good eggs. I love you all. Thank you. Thank you, man. Appreciate it like a lot. Centaur has finally been picked off though, as Skady retreating back to his home base. Mista just about to click up. It looks like Skady is going through Nephthys here. I don't see the Shadoof. Do we see Shadoof? Obviously no Shadoof. No real upgrades here. No husbandry. God. You have to get husbandry. That is okay. So in terms of the upgrades, I actually think husbandry is the most important upgrade in the game. The most important. So now that I've said that, everyone's going to get husbandry every single game from now on, except for Atlantean. Atlantean, you just need to get it when you're starting to eat the herdables. But everyone else needs to start getting husbandry much earlier. Okay? Good. Good chat, everyone. Good chat. And the village is finishing up over here. Nephthys coming through. Mista's going through Aphrodite. No surprises there. But with these villagers all being kind of idle here, I wouldn't mind seeing him throw those over onto gold and trying to get to the mythic age here. Nice and quick. Oh, big raid coming in, but does get spotted. The granary here does spot that one. That's a little bit of obviously a bit of a misplay here from Mista, not sneaking around the granary, because you can see it. You see how much line of sight he sees from this granary. It's not much. All he has to do is go around the long way in order to hit this location here. But maybe he didn't notice it when he was walking over. See these villagers over here onto this gold, and Aphrodite just about to pop. We see the spearmen coming in here. You see the resources coming through for Mista very nicely. He's going to be looking like he's hitting a 15... you see the curse coming down. It's looking like we're going to be seeing about a 15-minute mythic age here. Where's the market though? No market. Oh, there's the market. So we will be seeing that 15-minute Mythic Age. And with that Mythic Age coming through so much faster than the Tornado, that means that Skady is going to have to deal with Nemean Lions here with the Classical Age army. Nemean Lions get super value against these units here. Such low HP units that the splash damage will pick them off so quickly. But we'll see how that's going to go. There's the Artemis. And how far is Skady from the Mythic Age? You're starting to see some siege works coming up over here. Do we have fortified town centers? Do we have masons? You're going for these town center plays. You kind of have to get those upgrades. But we see the Nemean Lion getting sniped here. Nice play from Skady. Mista actually will have to sacrifice this one. A little bit does decide to utilize the special ability before retreating away. Another military building coming up for Mista for some reason here. He's going to block in his own Nemean Lion and lose that one, and then possibly lose the villager as well. And now we see another raid coming over here. We've got the heavy Hippocon. Nice play from Mista. Super active with these Hippocon. Not really enough walls up for Skady at this point in the game to defend himself against this. I would have liked to have seen walls here, walls here, walls over here, walls over here. You know, just completely locking his map up. Now we see the spearman getting sniped over here as he's pulling back, and the slingers coming over here onto this location. We've got those Toxotes here. What is he going to do? The slingers, well, they're going to all lose to there's just too many Toxotes here. There's an Ancestors coming down, though, and Horus is on the way. This is going to be pretty strong to push off this this gold. And I don't think... obviously, Mista's got to be aware that he needs all the gold he can get for Chimera, and that's what Skady knows as well. He's trying to snipe down as many of these units as he possibly can, but it's looking like Mista's just saying, all right, let me trade these Toxotes for the time so that I can get more gold income here. Meanwhile, over here, we see the Giraffe of Set, the Scorpion Men chasing these Hippocon away. There's the Mythic Age pop there from Mista. We'll see that Earthquake possibly get cast down into this location here. At least that's probably where you should cast it, just before all the upgrades start coming through and more buildings get thrown down. But it's not coming down just yet. These units all retreating away. Do we see some Chimera? No Chimera. He did do something, though, with all that favor he had. I'm not sure what. Not sure what he bought, but there's the Earthquake. There goes the town center. These units over here getting sniped down. We've even got some Hippaspis starting to come through for Mista, which is really, really good. You get those Hippaspis out nice and early, and you don't have too much to worry about with the Horus Spears, and that's partly why you want to be going for the faster Mythic Age to really prevent the Heroic Age of the ceasefireless Poseidon player. Now you see these villagers retreating away. We'll see how this is all going to go. Hippocon coming forward, taking more stuff down. Town Center now coming up for Mista. Tornado coming in onto the home base of Mista, but I don't think it's going to kill it. I don't think it's going to kill it. That's too much. That's too much HP. It's not going down. There's no way. But there's no masons. Maybe it will go down. It's going to be close. It's not going down. It doesn't do any more damage. 470 HP remaining. Oh no. Absolute nightmare for Skady. You have to cast a tornado on a naked town center if you want to kill it, basically. And apparently this was all planned. I don't think you should ever cast your tornado here. Up here is better. Because this is where the gold is. This is where you want to attack. Over here, all you're doing is potentially pushing off these farms. But then you use the granary and it's fine, you know? Migdol Stronghold up now for Skady as he's going to start thinking about getting some more of those Heroic Age units. He does have the Avenger here as well to try and deal with that Chimera. It's actually a really, really good counter to the Chimera. If you can see him moving in, there he goes. Gets a good amount of damage done on the spins. And there's the fortress coming up for Mista, who's going to start wanting to transition into those Heliopolis. Very, very, very strong at this stage of the game. Meanwhile, Skady still 2 down centers, can't grab his third. Here, how is his economy going? He's got a decent amount of gold in the bank, so he might want to think about grabbing this one, but I feel like he's a little bit more concerned about the potential Chimera running around his base. You do have to just simply chase that around with the Avenger. Where'd he send it? Oh, we're going for a raid here. I don't hate the raid. 5.5 speed versus 5.3 speed. So the Avenger chases him around. It's completely fine. Ooh, why are these villagers here? big question mark. Looks like the Chimera coming in is going to be picking off a bunch of them, as well as those Hippocon to chase him down. Now the Avenger comes in onto this location here. A couple of low HP villagers that the splash damage from the spin attack is going to be able to do. We'll see if Mista pays attention to this or how long it takes him to notice this one there. None of these villagers are passive stance, so they're going to avoid a lot of the splash damage. The Avenger's just going to walk around and pick them off very, very quickly. Meanwhile, over here, we've got Mista pushing off the food on this location. We've got these units coming through here. Skady with 62 favor in the bank, and he doesn't have any of those beautiful upgrades that he needs to get. The Hypaspist are out as well, so even these Spearmen at this point are a little bit lackluster. It's almost like he needs a cavalry here, which is a sad state of affairs for every set player. He definitely needs something to help out at this point. Villagers over here getting picked off. The mining camp gets taken down. And Mista going to push through this gate here into the Promised Land. He is getting those Heliopolis now. He can push through this way. Just push through straight into the base of Skady. Wouldn't be a bad idea at all. And even a simple wall across here with Petropolis and towers to push in wouldn't be a bad idea either. But now Skady's 3 town centers here. These units are deciding to look for this fight. Mista, 160 of 160 population, good amount of resources. I don't see any upgrades coming through for these Hypaspis. I would like to see heavy infantry as soon as you possibly can. Not only does it buff the Hypaspis, but it also buffs his militia that are in this army as well. And we do see these units pushing in. See the Spearmen trying to turn around and take this fight fairly decently. The Chariot Archers tanking a lot of the fire here, as those Hypaspis are getting some decent trades here. There's Champion Cavalry coming through for Mista. That's going to help out a ton here, but it is looking like Skady is able to hold on this location. But meanwhile, that's all happening. We do see that attack coming through onto this Migdal stronghold with the Heliopolis. No reaction onto this one. They're going to be losing the only Migdal stronghold he has. That's no more Chariot Archers, no more cavalry, and it's basically just back to those barracks units for Skady. And Skady does end up having to tap out here in the 19th minute of this game. GG, well played by Mista, but I mean, this is one of those games where it's just a bit of a head scratcher here. Obviously, from my perspective, I can see the map and I kind of know what's going on, but I feel like Skady had exactly the same knowledge that I had this game. Having seen this town center, having forced that ceasefire there with that shifting sands was so beautiful. Having forced that ceasefire basically meant that the play here for Skady was to grab this town center, put an armory down, get an 8-minute heroic age, or 8-minute 30 heroic age at the very latest, Ancestors the opponent's home base to slow them down, and then hit that mythic age, tornado this top town center, and then just flood spearmen in, heavy spearmen in, with potentially getting out the upgrade greatest of the 50, or depending on what resources you have, or Spear of the Horizon. Is that what it is? I always forget. Yeah, Spear on the Horizon. Probably Spear on the Horizon would be the better one to grab first. But he just didn't do it, and that allowed Mista everything he wanted. Some really beautiful raids here from Mista, showing off a lot of that Age of Empires Online experience. Actually, that's something they do a lot in that game. But just well played here by Mista. If you guys enjoyed the game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.